You're tuning in to the online broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us for another AfterBuzz TV After Show for Call the Midwife. This is Series 5, and we are talking about the Christmas special. I'm John Comerford. I'm joined in the studio by Tamra Berg.
Hi, everybody.
We also have Marisa Serafini.
Hello, everyone.
And for those of you who are fans from our Downton Abbey podcast who have come over to see us and that, normally we have...
Thank you and welcome.
Yeah, we normally have Courtney Stewart here, and she's off on location shooting, location scouting for a film she's producing. We wish her luck on that. She'll be back on other podcasts. But thank you for being here, Marisa.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
It's great. I'm glad you're here. Now, I was so... first of all, I love the show. I have to say, when I first was told about it, not interested in it at all.
I was hooked from the very beginning because, first of all, my mother told me to watch it, and my mother is a brilliant seer when it comes to good TV shows.
She's always got good.
And she's always the first one to tell me about certain shows, believe it or not.
But anyway, this particular, I hadn't seen a Christmas special in a while.
This is the first time AfterBuzz has ever done a Call the Midwife.
Yeah, first AfterBuzz for Call the Midwife. We're happy to do it. We were anxious to do it because we like the show so much.
And there's a void in our life from Downton Abbey. And if you haven't seen our Downton Abbey podcast, watch them. They're fantastic. Just kidding.
They are.
So,
this is filling the void, though.
Okay, but this is all about Call the Midwife, so let's get into that, because I thought this, first of all, wonderfully interwoven stories. I thought that was great. Heidi Thomas always does a terrific job of this in every one of the episodes, but this one in particular, I mean, the way she wove things in and out, that in some stories climbing over each other, but never in the way, always dovetailing nicely.
Also keeping a theme.
Yes.
With Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole, well, especially for Monica Joan, the whole going home and being counted, and not just counted, but
census,
yes, exactly.
Per the
but counting in life and all that other stuff. I mean, it was just so deftly handled, I thought.
I agree. She does a beautiful job. Doesn't she write most of these episodes or all of them?
Yeah, I think she's written most of it, and I'm sure she has help. I know that there's certain episodes. In fact, there's one other person helping her in this one as well, I think.
But yeah, I loved that, and also another thing that I know we'll talk about more, but the cinematography on this was particularly beautiful, and we kind of get that with the British shows and the Christmas specials.
The Christmas specials
we get a little extra, which I love, and it's so nice
they have some time. They can afford that.
Exactly, and I love that is the beginning of the series for us with this show, because it kind of really sets it off and sets a nice tone for what we're going to be getting this series.
Did you find it interwoven?
Yeah, absolutely. The storylines, I loved how they got really deep in the themes and just the overall meaning of Christmas and what it really means to people, and what that at that time people were saying, hey, let's get more 20th century, but it's also just going back to the more personal things that are more important during the Christmas time. And then also to the cinematography, I thought it was beautiful. London is a character, really, and it, as saturated as a color as it is still beautiful to look at, and it means so much to these characters.
Just some of the shots with Monica Joan when she's in the quote barn manger. No, actually the one where she's actually in the manor and she's talking, and they have the windows are boarded up and the light is streaming through those boards and everything like that.
Beautiful.
It's gorgeous. They took the time to do that. And then you have a favorite one.
Well, I have a couple of sort of iconic Christmas, because there's often been talk about how the Victorians in England really set the idea of what Christmas is, Charles Dickens and all that kind of stuff. And so there were the scenes with the children going out to see the lights, and you see the double-decker bus with the lights hanging down, which I thought was beautiful when they're down at the market looking at Christmas trees. And again, you have that kind of Christmas feel. But I want to screenshot this and make this my Christmas card for next year, is when Fred and Sister Evangelina were in the van, and he has his Christmas trees and they're piled on top. And it's kind of a jalopy looking van, going down the country lane, and it's very picturesque and it's a little bit misty, and I'm like, that's it. That's my Christmas card next year. Because it's really iconic. I literally have a card that has a drawing of that on it that I just found the other day as I was putting away Christmas stuff. So yeah, it's really like, lots of evocative images for sure.
Well, we just talked about Sister Monica Joan, so let's get into that story because it's the prevailing one for me. I mean, it was just heart-wrenching. Some of it was terrible. But also, because it's Sister Monica Joan, there's also all this stuff about, I mean, she starts out looking for some comestible and finds some dusty old bottle of brandy that she's got to drown Christmas pudding in.
You just got to keep digging for it.
Exactly.
I love how the brandy was like...
started out
throughout the whole
started out with Monica Joan, ended up with
right?
Phyllis. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's great.
Person to person.
That must be appealing to Courtney and me.
Yeah, well, of course. Yeah, you guys will like the brandy naturally. But of course, she's making her Christmas pudding, and I'm just going, really? They're gonna let her cook? They're gonna give her fire and alcohol.
I know, right?
Yeah, so
I had no idea what she was cooking until the end. I was like, was that really pudding?
And of course, it does.
Well, it's what they call pudding is sort of what we call dessert. So, so it was, I assume what it was is a traditional Christmas cake that needs to be steamed at the end, and.
Well, it steamed a little bit too much.
It didn't go right.
Explosion.
It has to be cleaned up. But then, of course, it takes she starts off coughing, by the way, and I'm going, okay, what's going on here?
Yeah.
She's not doing well. And then she ends up, we see her on the stairwell. It's like, what is happening? And then she's deliriously ranting, talking about her, then she's in bed, of course, and she's talking about mom and the whole thing. And I'm going, oh, how... And I honestly was going, oh no, and she starts talking about going home and being home to get, the census and being counted. I'm going, oh my God. And then later on when they're talking about she's ready to meet her maker, I'm going,
no.
And this is a Christmas special. I'm not ready for this. So,
right.
You gotta be happy during Christmas.
And of course the other storyline with Iris and her newborn, I'm going, oh my God, they're bringing somebody they're taking somebody out of this world, they're bringing somebody in, and I was going, no, really? No, not a Christmas special. And I honestly was going, I can't see him doing this. Didn't they learn nothing from
Matthew's death on Downton Abbey?
Yeah, you can't kill somebody in a Christmas special. It's just not done.
Not anymore.
But they sure painted it that way. Did you think for a second that they were going to do that?
Yes, absolutely. I have in my notes, like really early on, in all caps, will she die? And I was really, really upset.
Like your first note on there.
Yeah, I was really upset because, she was coughing lighthearted. I was like, oh, it's the winter time. Yeah. Everyone gets sick at this time. Medicine back then wasn't as well advanced as it is now. It's like something could seriously happen. So I was worried for her health.
I mean, let's face it, and then she just leaves. Because, well, let's say the big argument she has with
Sister Evangelina.
I mean, it starts off with Evangelina telling her, no tinsel, knock it off. The way we do things around here, not until December 18th.
Sister Scrooge.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. And then they have the big argument.
That was such a weird rule.
Well, no, I think it makes perfect sense because they don't want to commercialize Christmas. They want it to be about something more than the quote holiday that it is created because of it. So they want your focus not on just the tinsels and the decorations. They want it to be about something else. That made sense to me. I get that.
I mean, I get that, but I think it was more surprising that she was so adamant against it.
Well, she's very adamant about the way we do things here.
Right.
She's always adamant about that.
I never want to see tinsel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And of course, she's the first one to buy the tree.
But we are out of kilter with the world, and we will never know the magic of television. Sister Monica Joan says.
Television is a portal to much happiness.
Yes,
it is a portal to much happiness.
It's like the best line ever.
But I thought the argument, I'm talking about the argument that they're having at the table when they're talking about how there aren't any decorations. They're talking about children. They're talking the portal of much happiness and all that other stuff. And it gets pretty ugly there.
Heated, yeah.
It's heated, Evangelina's always got a sharp tongue on her and stuff like that, but she doesn't usually lay into her that much, or at least I haven't seen it as much.
No, she doesn't. She's sort of more passive-aggressive most of the time.
Well, especially with Sister Monica, Monica Joan. But she does get in people's faces. But that was just like, wow, what are we setting up here? What's going on?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it was a direct, shouting match for one or two lines, which is not very British, number one, and not very sisterly, and not very, that's why it was so kind of surprising, I think. And obviously hearkening back to conversations they've had before.
Oh, sure, because they talk about their childhoods and their hardships.
You don't
like,
know hardship, or you didn't know hardship, or whatever.
And we know they both have had.
I did know.
Yeah.
And Sister Monica Joan talks later about how when she goes to the house, you know, there was very little happiness.
It was discord.
But it is my home.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
But yeah, that was a hard scene to watch.
I felt really bad for her. You know.
I did. I felt bad too, because, you know, she looked so defeated at the end, and she just walked away.
Yeah, and then the fact that they were arguing about their childhood and who had it worse, I was just going, oh, jeez. And then when she says the line, Monica Joan says the line about her mind is misshapen, that she might not have remembered it. I'm just going, ugh. She's just killing me already.
Yeah.
Okay, so she takes off. And then, you know, nobody knows, of course, and then the search is on, you know, they're calling everybody, what's going on. PC Noakes gets into it, you know, he starts investigating this. They find her shoes, which they identify, and then later on they find part of her habit. It's like, oh my God, in that weather. Bad. And then, of course, I really am going, they're not going to do this. They're not going to kill her off, are they, in a Christmas fair? And then they show the body. I'm going, hold on, it can't be her. They can't do this.
Unfortunately, I knew before I watched it, because I'd seen some trailers. You know, I look at the news, you know, and
I avoid it all.
And I try to do. You do a great job of that. Yeah. So, were you buying it the whole way? Were both of you buying it the whole way? Like, did you really think they were going to kill? You did, yeah, obviously.
I was very worried they were going to go down that route.
I was just surprised that they were making the case for it, so to speak. If Heidi Thomas was writing this, I'm going, they're not going to do this. They're not. Yeah, I just really didn't buy that they were going to kill someone. But I go, she's really making the case.
Yeah.
So that was. Yeah. But I go, no, there's got to be something else going on.
So the body washes up.
It's not her, of course, but it's still. But that makes it even worse in a sense, because now they still don't know. I mean, I don't know. It's not worse, but it's still just worrying. Yes. Troubling, you know, all that kind of stuff, and they're saying prayers not only for Monica Joan, but they're saying prayers for the woman,
this unknown woman.
God.
Which I loved that moment where you know, there was this great relief, but then instantly they knew there was terrible tragedy, because there is still a dead woman here. And
Sister Julian's talking about, because someone somewhere needs to care.
Yeah,
you know, because then we've talked about it many times. The show, there's nothing else. It's all about decency and kindness and grace and the way we should respond. I think one of my favorite lines for Tamra was when she said, you know, if anything horrible should ever happen to us like this, I want one of these women to break the news to me.
Exactly. Oh my God, that is so true.
Because they'll deliver it properly.
Exactly.
With
care and kindness.
Yeah, exactly. The thing I love about this show is I find it delightful.
It's all about dignity and kindness.
And it's all about kindness. Yeah.
I think the great thing about these characters is that they can be real and raw, and they can be angry at the points where they have to be, but they can be complete opposite and be soft and soothing at the moments when they need to be.
Yeah.
So, and I think that just, it's a testament to all their acting skills and just the characters in them of themselves, how in depth they can
and
go.
They do a great job. I mean, even the turns I totally believe. You know, for instance, when Evangelina is lashing out at Barbara because Barbara's saying, you know, Barbara was talking about how Monica
was criticizing her
just
a little
to decorate,
bit.
and Evangeline just lays into it, right? And the very next thing we see her right outside that, we see her Evangeline just realizing, what am I doing? And you know, and the feeling, the weight of her words and what that created for Monica Joan, and how that set this whole thing in a tailspin. And then she's the first one to go buy the dang tree and start decorating it.
But she's got to get it at a good price.
Yeah, of course.
But it was guilt that drove that.
Well, guilt, absolutely. But you know, so that's why Catholicism. Well, this isn't Catholicism because it's.
And what she was saying was, I'd let her put up the Christmas tree at Easter if that's what she wants, when she finally makes the turn and realizes that she was
ridiculous. She was. But okay, so Monica Joan, we obviously find out that she's still out there. She's on the road. She stops at the barn where the cattle are loading, and the rat needs something to eat and drink. And even that, I'm going, okay, there's the manger, there's the whole, you know, and then when she goes to the manor, is there a room at the inn? I'm thinking all these little things. I mean, I'm just going, wow, they're really, you know, but it worked.
No, I thought it was really good because if you if you're a cynic, you can look at it and go, oh, for God's sake, they're putting in another one of those. But I don't think in any way that they stood out looking like they were crowbarred in.
No,
you know?
I didn't.
Because she is, you know, a little bit on the run. And of course, those are, you know, the themes that are going to continue. I thought it was really beautifully done.
Yeah, I did too. Actually, I thought it worked extremely well, and I didn't care. I mean, I know that if cynics are watching this, they may not buy into it, but I don't care.
Cynics don't watch the show.
It's just a romantic, idealized view, and I love it for that.
Yeah, I love how it just reflected how, because she is a religious person, you know, that still resonated in her life, and it wasn't like you guys were saying hit over our heads. And it was just
first of all, how can it not be? She's a nun, for crying out loud. I mean, if you're not gonna be using those themes, then don't put her in a habit, for crying out loud. So all right, but so she makes it into the manor where the squatters are, the anti-nukes activists, or not exactly sure what they are, and still is not interested in eating or getting healthy. She's there. What's that?
And we learn her name is Antonia.
Yeah, who knew? And of course, we saw that confirmed when Evangelina's looking through the paperwork. But I'd never heard that. I mean, I've seen every episode. I just did we get that information sometime before? Are we just getting it now? I don't know.
I don't think so.
But it was good to know. I mean, Antonia, and then just to have her say about how much discord was in the house and that she's there and she's content. She's
my story is concluded.
And that was the beginning of the show. We from the voiceover, they talk about the newborn and the whole. There's a story that's starting and a story that's ending, and I'm going, and that's why I was thinking, okay, well, there's a baby that's starting, and then there's life is ending, and I'm going, they're gonna book in that. So that's why I was good.
You were scared.
Let's
just say it.
Yeah, just because I didn't want to know. I didn't want to hear the wrath of the Twitterverse about killing somebody off in a Christmas special.
Like you hear the
that's
roar of the Twitterverse.
That's true.
Let's just put that
I wouldn't
out
hear
there.
that. I wouldn't.
No, you
that.
wouldn't.
No. But she's there to meet her, and she's content. She's ready to go.
Yeah.
But of course, it's Phyllis and Evangeline when they're talking together that they learn that they start sharing.
Figure out.
Well, they start sharing that what each other has heard from in their last few times talking with Monica Joan, and it's Phyllis that said, she's just talking about her home and.
I know where she is.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. And again, Evangeline, of course, with all the guilt and everything that's driving her.
Yeah.
Showing it PC. Come on, let's go get her. And he's made the call. He goes, hey, it's out of my jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction, schmuristiction. I'm going to go get her.
And he stops the van. And
stops Fred.
Well, good Fred, I think about put up on Fred. No matter what happened, he's like, okay, hop in, let's go.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
But he, as he salutes
at
later,
your service.
He is the knight, so to speak, in this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what I liked when they finally found her is, Evangeline is praying.
Yes.
Out loud over Monica Joan. And I, honestly, at that point, I'm going, they're not going to kill her off, but they might, put her out of contention for a while. Let's put it that way. They'll incapacitate her. I'm going, they're not going to kill her, but maybe they'll just put her aside for a little bit. I don't know.
I was very worried because, granted, that was a beautiful shot of her on her makeshift deathbed. But, even the scene right before that when she passed out, we're kind of led to believe that she might have passed away. Mm-hmm. But I was... As beautiful a shot that was, I was like, this is a sigh of relief that she was still alive. We're like, okay, she's still not fully there, but at least she's
and I just like the metaphor. She just starts praying, and all of a sudden, Monica Joan starts praying. Then they start praying together, and the whole, because they were such in discord earlier, and they, their child says, you don't know this, and you couldn't be the same, and you have no idea. And then at the end, they're actually our sisters, and not just as nuns.
Yeah.
But sisters in all kinds of ways and stuff like that. So that was just great. So.
Yeah, the past was sort of
and what was
forgiven.
Yes, and the whole thing, what was the line? Oh, lift up my soul unto thee was the last line that they said together in terms of the prayer that they were saying together.
We find out she pawned her mother's jewels.
Yes, that's great. Because remember, that was a big deal when we first learned about it. That not in this episode, but I don't remember it was season past. Yeah, and I was like, wow. And I loved it when Julianne brought it in there, and she says that it brings her comfort, and
sort of a touchstone. For her.
Yeah, it's a touchstone. Yeah, it was terrific, and I was like, and I didn't get for a second that she was going to go out and pawn it. And a sapphire ring and the pearls and everything. Yeah, damn. And
much capital remains.
Yeah.
But they now have a television.
Yeah.
Happiness to that place.
Oh, thank God.
And a replacement Christmas pudding.
Yes, of course, because the other was all on the wall and the ceiling, and I'm sure they didn't get all of it when they cleaned it off.
Yeah, that exploded everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, and again, speaking to the cinematography, that tableau, they had a couple of really beautiful tableaus, but that was a beautiful one at the end where they're all facing the television, and in the foreground there's a little bit of the like feast that they had, and the
and two of them, the one in the church when everybody was singing, and then when we come out and we're watching it, then we have another one there, and it's like, and it's great, it's Christmas fair, because you're going, we're all gathered here watching this, so yeah, sure, I mean, it was good.
Wearing our heavy eyeliner and our Christmas crowns.
And our lipstick.
Yes, and our lipstick, yes.
Change your wardrobe. Because they're black and white.
Yes,
so,
yes.
It was good to see her back, though. I'm glad they didn't kill her off. It's a good choice.
Yeah.
But I have to say, because I think in the hands of a less capable actress, that it's a difficult role, that Monica Joan, because it could easily be kind of brushed aside or be annoying or whatever, but she always plays it with such... Because it is, for me, it's like, oh my God, she's going off on one of her rants again, and I'm not talking about the delirious ones where she just gets, every once in a while there's some self-pity there and everything like that, but she always brings it back to there's some heart there that they always manage to find in the piece, whether it's in the writing or the acting, and I'm just always kind of chastising myself for writing her off like that.
Yeah. Do you mind if I bring this up now?
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So Judy Parfitt, who plays Sister Monica Joan, there was a story about her from the Daily Mail this week, and they were talking about how her husband was diagnosed with dementia. He died 15 years ago, and she talked about how it was a really big challenge for her to go through. Her husband was actor Tony Steedman, and she had to. Her quote was, once she realized that he had really kind of gone far into his dementia, she says, well, my husband is gone. Now I have this child that I love greatly and that I have to look after. Your husband becomes your child. I remember one day this terrible panic arose in me, and then I told myself, I can't go on like this. I'll be no good to him or to me, and that has to stop. So she really has...
some experience,
a lot of experience. And just as a side note, she's working with Dementia UK's Time for a Cuppa campaign, which raises money for Admiral nurses who specialize in dealing with dementia. She talks about how it frightens people because it's so unknown and so difficult to understand. So anyway, if you want to know more about it, the Time for Cuppa campaign, go to timeforacuppa.org, and there's more information there.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's let that lead us into our next storyline, which I want to talk about, which is about the iris.
I don't have a Kleenex.
Yeah. Because
you gotta remember to bring that in.
I know. Okay, because every time
there you go.
I've told people that I like the show and everything, they go, really? Yeah, because especially people who don't know about it, and they go, every show it doesn't fail that I end up crying at some point in it, and I'm going, no, I don't know. I don't normally. I'm not a weepy guy or anything like that, but this thing kills me every time. They find a way. Drives me nuts.
Right. It just means you have kindness in your soul,
I know,
John.
It's true. Yeah. It's true. But it's me. And this is in that case. Like, for instance, Iris. Okay,
Iris.
Let's
talk Iris.
She's got a niece, Rosemary. Rosemary's pregnant. She's got these labor pains.
She's got twins.
But they, the first time she has they're false labor pains, so she's not really gonna. But that's when we start to get Iris's story, and already I'm going, oh my God, this is gonna hurt. This is gonna hurt. So. Where do we want to start with that? When she was in the room, and the false labor pains, when she's talking to her husband afterwards, I should say, and she's recounting the whole thing, and then that's when you start to learn. She says, "Well, I'm not sure I was wanted," and then you learn that her baby had died, and oh my God, this is
Lorna.
Lorna. Later on we learned it was Lorna, and also they lay in wonderful job of laying things in just to have some grapes, for your
kidneys, because she had kidney stones.
Kidney stones and blah blah. Yeah, I don't have those anymore. And oh my God! So,
she's the one that they count on at the church. She cleans
everything. She's
everything. That is very clearly her pride and joy.
Absolutely.
That is her thing.
And later on, they even talk about how she, all the love and care that she would have given to Lorna, she put into this church, and she's very proud of it. She makes sure that brush teeth,
face is washed, and hair is brushed,
and Sunday best, and all that other stuff. And you're just, oh my God.
Yeah.
So. But prior to all that, we see that Rosemary sees her on the street and she says, "Let's go to the clinic. I have an appointment. Please come with me." And Iris is, she's not sure she's wanted, but Mom's not there. It's like, okay, I go. And of course, when she's there, the water breaks. So, and now, what I think is hysterical, they're in the clinic and her water breaks. They send her home to have the baby.
I loved that.
Wait, you're in a clinic.
That is a little different from how it's done now.
It is, but couldn't you just? You got a bed right there. You got people right there. But no, you send her home. Yeah. So
maybe she was more comfortable at home.
Well, I mean, that's how people did it.
But I just find that so odd. It's just from a modern day sensibility. It's like, but you have everything you need right there, and the water's already just right there. Just do it. But no, they send her home. And even the doctors are like, why is the doctor there? Because he did nothing. He does nothing.
Oh my God.
He does nothing.
Just deliver the news.
I'm glad I'm here. The boy's a breach. And he still doesn't do it. He just hands her a towel.
Yeah, I'm glad I stayed.
Need the doctor. He just does it. Yeah, but okay. So, the water breaks. So they're in there, and we're doing the birth, and the baby, the girl is delivered fine. Everything's good. And they actually have Iris holding her, and I've just seen the look on her face and carrying the child until the mother comes in. It's just heartbreaking to see all that the baby gets taken away from her.
Yeah, hand her over.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, she has every right to say that.
Of course,
hand her over,
yes,
but
it's not just that. It's just I'm looking at it from Iris's point of view. Like first, to somebody who didn't even think they wanted her to be there, and then for her to be there at the moment where you really need somebody, and to hold the child there, and then have it just taken away again. It's just,
and there's just it's so complex and conflicted because she's clearly reliving her own experience and trying to be, supportive and loving and kind to this new baby as well as her niece. But it's complicated. It's very complicated for her.
To add on to that, when they're getting ready to birth the child, they lay down in the newspaper, and Iris is remembering all that. You still do that, and then she's remembering Sister Julian delivering Lorna, and it's like, oh my. It's just traumatic.
Yeah.
I think they did a great job of setting up her storyline in this episode. All these little things that are just adding on to what we will eventually see.
Right.
And of course, then the next next part of the story I'm going to go to is the fact that when Sheila's in the church and they're going to, and I forgot to say this, but prior to all this happening, Sheila had asked Mr. and Mrs. Willens if they would provide an orange box or crate, for the manger, for the cradle service. And of course they would, but now cut to later when we're in the church and she's saying, orange crate's just not going to be enough. It's not going to be good enough. And she and her husband brings in the cradle, which she's kept for Laura for the past 22 years, and you're just going. And of course, Sheila is just realizing it. She can't even tell her yet that the measles has broken out, and they've suspended this choir and the whole thing, and the kids we're not gonna do this and everything.
Yeah, after she's made the outfits and
put all this work into
it. Prior to that, though, we have the scene in Violet's shop.
Oh God, sure. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay.
It was so sad. I was trying to avoid it.
Yeah. Sorry, you're not going to get to go over that one.
It gets more real every scene.
Yeah. So, of course, it is Iris's story about the loss of this child has been with me for 22 years. Yeah. And she carries that with her wherever she goes. She goes into Violet's shop and goes into just buy the note. Buy a bra extender.
Well, and then Violet sells her the
which
raffles.
We later realize why.
Yeah, the bra extender. Which again, I was wonderfully laid in. I didn't
know it for a second.
No, I didn't.
I sold bras for many years, and it didn't even occur to me.
But the whole thing about it's a good time of year. A baby's always bring a smile, and well, not to everybody, and it's just.
Right. So this is, again, one of the things I love about this show is that, it's not really Violet's responsibility, per se, to remember everyone's story. Yeah. But when she does, she's so kind and so genuine about it and saying, oh, good gracious, I can't believe I brought that up. I'm adult. I shouldn't have brought it up. And then
poor Lorna, and she says, you remember her name? Of course I remember her name.
And her
lovely,
beautiful face, beautiful smile. Yeah.
Yes.
4 months.
Yes, she's like, she says 3
3 months,
pressure,
then 4.
And you're just going, God, can it get any worse?
Right. So, I mean, this very genuine and heartfelt conversation between two women who, have known each other for a million years. Yeah. Exactly. And, so she makes her buy a raffle ticket, not one, but two.
Two, of course.
Two babies.
Yeah, because, her niece had twins. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Number 84 and 85. That's going to be important later.
Yes. But, I thought the church scene was even just that she's given this cradle and she just recounts all this love that she's been carrying, that she's been trying to give to a child she put in a church to, feel proud about something. Go ahead.
And that I've spent 22 Christmases not letting any joy come in.
Mm-hmm. And I love that they use the word
joy.
You okay, Tam? Can you go on? Do you need a break? Yeah.
Right. So, it kind of reminds me of, I've heard this story from so many people, how, they try to have a baby, have decided they're not going to. And then they stop trying. The minute they stop trying,
ta-da!
It happens so frequently. And so it's, it's sort of a similar parallel of.
Similar in this way, but she's already pregnant, but it's the same metaphorical thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's that the
releasing.
Mm-hmm. It was also just added factors that was trying to purposely throw us off. It's like 15 years have passed. Yeah. So, and she's older. She's
22.
Yeah. And then, she having the kidney problems and whatnot. And
then, of course.
So it was like all these things working against us that we would led to believe she wouldn't be.
Right.
Able to.
She's already gone through the change and everything. It's like,
really
well, that's actually not why you stopped there.
Yeah.
But then she's physically adorning the cradle when the labor pains start.
Yeah. Sheila is putting the blanket in the cradle.
No, I thought Iris was doing that.
No, it was Sheila. It was Sheila.
Okay,
yeah.
I misunderstood.
Right. So then they go. They're in the hospital, not in the hospital. She's visiting the doctor.
Yeah, exactly.
I had the change. I had it early. Yeah. We find out she's pregnant. Christmas miracle.
Yeah, Christmas miracle exactly.
Right there.
Heartbeat.
But that scene, you got the doctor, you got Sheila, they got the stethoscope, no words, and you're going.
And the few seconds where Dr. Turnit and Sheila know.
Yeah, exactly.
And she doesn't. Yeah. And they're like, if you're Iris, they're like, oh my God.
Can you believe that? And in the audience, we're going. Oh my God! Really? Yeah.
I just realized we had to move in. Sorry.
That's okay. And then her reaction when she finds out is just priceless. Oh my God!
It felt so genuine, though.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
But then she says, "But I don't feel safe."
Yeah, don't feel safe. Yeah, that. Oh my God. And then we cut to the delivery room because we had to move her to the maternity. We couldn't. Right again. There's no way a baby's going to be delivered here in this clinic.
God.
Well, she felt safe at her house.
Well, that's true. And also what made her safe because she said.
And the voice off screen.
Is everything going to be all right? Is everything going to be all right? And then
everything is going to be all right.
And boy, that voice.
Yeah. Blood pressure drops 10 points.
That's right.
You hear it, right?
I'm a guy. If I felt more comfortable having her there. I don't have anything to do with this.
Yeah.
I'm watching at home and I'm going, yeah, she says that, I'm believing it.
Yeah.
So, and it was terrific. Yeah. And it was just, we had how many births this time? We had three births in this particular
twins
episode?
And then her.
Yeah, so that was all right. The twins. So we got the three. All right, nice.
The Trinity.
So. All right.
Baby's born. Come here. Come to your mom.
And again, another great shot when she reaches out her arms. That's just such a great shot. And the look on her face was amazing. And of course, named her Joy. And Dad guesses how much
she weighs.
To the ounce. Yeah.
And no sad names this time. We're going to call her Joy.
Joy.
Because that's what we have
to give her.
That's all we have to give her. We don't even have mittens, and of course. That's why Violet
fixing
the raffle. They rig the raffle.
You bet. Oh, look. Number 85.
Another Christmas miracle.
Imagine that.
Oh, my God.
A Christmas miracle. And then the baby goes in
the manger.
During the pageant.
So it is all about the children. So.
Yeah.
We have to get to a few more things. We do.
We're going to have to go a little quickly on them.
We're short on time on this one. But we have to talk about, first of all, the overall church and the cradle service. And, we have moments there with Tom and Barbara, and I'm going, what are they doing
what's
there?
Happening there?
They're the whole thing with the confectionery and the looks they share and the closeness and everything. We're saying, I think they're trying to tell us something.
Oh, they definitely are.
Yeah,
they
something to look forward to.
Yeah. And I thought the whole measles thing was, great way. I mean, I was just wondering, because it's Christmas special, it's all about the kids. We started with the kids singing, and they sing horribly when they first are singing, and the drumming's bad, and it was like, oh, ouch, ouch, and they hold auditions, and, I thought, I hope they hold auditions because they're going to need some. But then, they finish it with the nuns and the midwives singing, and Sheila has an amazing voice. I mean, I don't know if that was her, if they dubbed it in, but I thought it was terrific.
It was gorgeous. And the frilly hats really just did
it.
Yeah, it was the hats.
But the BBC guy was, what a
Mr.
great...
Swan.
Mr. Swan, bringing him in.
The show must go on. It's not a show, it's an act of worship.
Unless somebody films it.
Oh my God.
He was Smee.
And if nobody films it, you might as... Yeah.
Let's not forget that.
Exactly.
But if nobody films it, you might as well just worship in the dark behind closed
with the door closed.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, it's how we normally do it.
Yeah. Oh my God, he was terrific.
I love him. He added levity to this episode.
Right, and will the baby be a good-looking baby?
Yeah.
The one that's going to be in the cradle, because the aesthetics are important, or critical, I believe.
All concerned about the look. All concerned about the look. But by the look of that last tableau, they got a nice one. There was shiny brass and everything. So, and just like he requested, well, he didn't request it, but he said that you have to provide the sparkle, and they did. They came through with providing the sparkle of everything they needed.
Don't make me talk about it. I'll cry.
I think that the whole topic about the measles, we had the whole outbreak with the kids, and we saw patients every once in a while, but then, the little girl getting progressively more sick. But I was more surprised. I mean, I get that this is the Christmas episode, a lot's happening. But I was kind of surprised that the measles case wasn't really fully resolved.
I wasn't, only because it was a Christmas special, and I think they went, I don't want to put kids.
You can't kill
You can't quarantine
I don't want to make kids be sick and everything.
Yeah.
Whereas in a different episode, if it was about that, then I would have seen. Yeah, let's resolve this. I think it was just a technique they employed in order to get the sisters and the nuns singing at the end.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Yeah.
I was completely okay with it.
I just wonder if there are going to be more epidemics in the future.
Well, I thought the best thing. I hope so, because they laid in. That the doctor was saying, I know that they're working on a vaccine, but it takes so long, and I'm going, interesting. So they might be bringing it back. Because
the vaccine wasn't officially,
no, it wasn't set up
until years later.
And this is again like a time of transition. So early in the series, it was transition from post-war to what's next.
Right.
And obviously there are transitions happening with medicine and with society, and there are things happening.
The clothes in general.
Did we really talk about Patsy and Delia?
No, we're just about to. We can finish it now.
Okay. Yeah, so
Patsy and Delia.
Delia's mom.
So Patsy, of course, she gets on the bus to go see the Christmas lights with all the kids with her bucket of sawdust. For the kids,
bucket.
Yeah, exactly,
and the wee bucket.
One who has a problem with her waterworks. And she sees Delia on the street with Mom, and I was just going, what? I was surprised.
Knock you over with that.
And especially because he hadn't called her. They haven't been in time. Although she says she's written 3 letters and Mom didn't post them.
Right.
Like, damn, Mom.
Cool.
You can't post the letters, but Mom was trying to do everything she can to be protective. And, I think it's somewhat selfish, but it's understandable.
Yeah.
So, but they, are, trying to, find their way back to each other.
Right.
And they have that great scene where she... she's saying, "Well, I don't know how to say what to say to that." And she goes, "Well, you could say this, you could say that, you could say this, you could say."
How about
can I just say, "Come back"? Yeah, okay.
All right, that works.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
But Mom is still not. Well, let's just say that it's not going to be easy for them.
No. And how'd you feel about them almost kissing in the?
Well, it was kind of a surprise. I said, "Well," because they were so careful everywhere else,
right?
And especially every time we've seen them,
it made me nervous.
Yeah,
like, oh God, don't.
Because you just want the scandal of what might happen to them, and people.
I don't want there to be a scandal at all. I call the midwife. I don't care what the subject is.
You just want everybody to be happy.
I just want everybody to be happy.
I think it was a nice enough tease, though, to look forward to.
Yeah.
So.
It's gonna be interesting.
All right. Well, since we only have a few more minutes, you have some news. But before we get to that, what were any last thoughts about this particular episode?
I loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great.
I think it was a great Christmas special.
It absolutely
was.
was.
Kind of thing. The whole family would like it. The whole family, except for the birthing parts where people are squeamish. But I think other than that was a weird thing though. When they're birthing the child, the breech, and she.
Oh, they've done that
Trixie
before.
takes her hands up.
Hands up.
Catch
Look,
that!
Mom,
Don't
no
let that baby
hands.
fall.
No, let it go.
Exactly. Yeah, let gravity.
They've done that before. There was, if you remember, the episode where.
But I always go, just put the hands under there.
Oh, they bounce.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was a great Christmas special. I thought it was a great beginning to the series. Beautiful, wonderful storylines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I think it really sets the tone for what the other episodes in the future will be. And it ended on a happy note. It
does everything you want to call a midwife to do. It had very interesting, intriguing stories. Some just ripping your heart out and making you, at least for me anyway, getting me to tears and going, damn it, they did it again.
I bawled my eyes out over the
more than once.
I watched it twice over the Ira story. Bawled my eyes out.
Yeah,
all the feels.
Mm-hmm. Indeed, all of them.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I mean, there are plenty of shows out there that have all kinds of people backstabbing each other and being horrible and cruel.
Right.
And I'm going, thank God, there's just one place where their come from is dignity, respect, kindness. Sharing, help.
And even if they do disagree with each other, they resolve it.
They find a way. They're not going to agree on everything, but they find a way.
Yeah.
They find a way. So, all right, let's get to
a couple bits of news.
News and gossip. Here we go.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Chummy, played by Miranda Hart, is not going to be on this series of Call the Midwife. She said she's very sad not to have been involved in Series 5, but did admit there could be a silver lining in future series. She joked, on the plus side, maybe Chummy can come back in the next series, an enlightened, crazed 60s hippie having an affair with Paul McCartney. Watch this space.
Nice. Okay. Very nice.
So, also, this was news in December. Call the Midwife has been renewed for a 6th series.
Another Christmas special and a final 6th series.
Yep. Pippa Harris said that the strength comes from Heidi Thomas's writing, as we were saying. Yeah. And she says she hopes that the audience will enjoy watching Series 5, which I firmly believe is our strongest yet.
Oh, wow.
And Heidi Thomas will continue to lead the writing team for the 6th series.
Nice. Okay, great.
Yeah. So that's it for now, because we're a little short on time.
We could talk about the fact that it's very well received. It got 8.3 million people watching as most watched Christmas special on that day.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's
more
nice.
Than the Downton Abbey finale.
It was, apparently. That's the research I read. It's down a little bit from last year, but not much stuff. And
it's still very solid.
Yeah, it's very solid. But what's interesting is it never gets nominated for Emmys over on this side of the pond. Do you think that's because Down's just stealing its thunder and Emmy voters can't handle more than one Brit show?
Yeah, probably.
They like their one thing and that's it.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, everybody I know, I tell them to watch the show and have been for years. And I've turned around you're one of them.
Yeah. She is.
And Courtney.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I think it's actually the subject matter, because people don't realize it's kind of about babies and women having babies, but it's really so much more of a broad series. And but several people I've told it about it, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I did the same thing, honestly, when somebody first, I think it was your mother first talking to me about it. I was like, I don't think that's for me.
Yeah.
But then I went, well,
you were wrong.
Yeah, then I go, I don't know, because she's been right on so many other occasions. I go, I got to give it a try.
Yeah. So I, maybe as it, continues, maybe as the fervor for Downton Abbey dies down in America, people will start picking this one up and we'll binge on it.
Their British fix.
It's so good. It is. It's so good.
All right. Well, that's where we're going to have to leave it. We got enough news and awesome there. We got to get out of here because we have another podcast to do. Let's tell them where they can find you, Marisa.
You can follow me on Twitter at Serafini TV.
And thank you for joining in again.
Yeah. We're glad you're with us. I am at Tamra Berg on Twitter. Also, my website is tamaracentral.com.
And Stuart_Starlet.
Stuart Starlet.
Yeah,
you can find Courtney. She'll be with us next time.
Yeah, I want for all those who tuned in because they wanted to see her, I want to make sure
she's going to be with us.
She will be with us too. Yeah. You'll find me here next time we do another Call the Midwife. Thanks again for listening. We'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, everybody.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.